Disneyland turned 70 years young, and in today's video, I wanted to give my opinions on the celebration, do something a little different because everyone's doing, their vlog from inside the park. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna flip it and reverse it in today's video because there really wasn't too much to film for the 70th anniversary, and it just started to become a normal day in the park, which was actually pretty fun. So in today's video, today's theme park obsession office video, I wanted to talk about the 70th anniversary and some things that I would have changed and things that maybe I wouldn't have brought back. So without further ado, how about you and I dive right in? Now, Disney has started the celebration a little bit earlier, and the celebration is going to be going on for quite some time, all throughout the rest of this year and into 2026. So you have plenty of time to check out the 70th anniversary festivities. And the actual birthday of the park will be on July 17th. And on that day, I will be back at the park because they're premiering an all-new show on Main Street, and it's the Walt Disney Show. So I'm really excited about that. And I feel like that show is going to be more related to the park than most of the offerings that they had for the 70th anniversary. Now, when it comes to just the park day, when I was there, it was fun. It was actually a really good day. I was hanging out with some friends. We were able to go on a few rides because the wait times at the kickoff were like super low. It was insane. There was a lot of people in the park. The park was very crowded, but the lines for the attractions were like walk-ons. Nearly all of them had a walk-on, and some of the big heavy hitters like Space Mountain, maybe a 20 or 30-minute wait, if that. Yeah, Rise of the Resistance, 20, 30-minute wait. Tiana's had a pretty low wait all day, and Haunted Mansion, walk-on. Uh, Pirates, walk on. Indiana Jones was like 20, 30 minutes. So it was cool to go on some rides, especially rides that I haven't been on in a while. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a blast and a little unexpected too. So I love Disneyland days like that because lately the park has been so busy that it's almost impossible to go on some of the rides because yeah, it's just, people are flooding the parks, they're doing the lightning lane thing. And for the 70th anniversary kickoff, yeah, that was not the case. It was so much fun. It kind of brought back memories of like old school Disneyland. And it's funny because they have Paint the Night back, and so I'm like, dang, this is really bringing back the old vibe. We were able to jump on It's a Small World because again, the line was only like 5 or 10 minutes, and check out the new additions to It's a Small World, which are super subtle. But I actually do like the new characters that they added. They added Miguel and Dante from the movie Coco, and I really love Dante. He's super cute in his rainbow colors. And yeah, I think it's just a really good addition to It's a Small World. I'm really curious if they're going to add any more characters to It's a Small World in the future. I know they're probably really careful about our version of It's a Small World compared to other versions around the world because it is, the OG. So I feel like they don't want to step on anybody's toes, including Walt's. So yeah, the additions that they do put in the attraction, or if they do make changes, they're pretty subtle, and if anything, they kind of amplify the experience. So I do like the additions of the Coco characters. But yeah, again, it's nice to go on that. We're on a couple other attractions. Also, another bit of news: they took down the walls in front of the Adventureland restrooms, revealing this beautiful fountain. I really love that new fountain that they have built. I was not expecting that. I thought it was just going to be the old fountain. I had no idea that they were doing something completely different. The design totally plays into similar designs you see on the Jungle Cruise, like in the temple section, like the very first section of the ride. So I really, really love that. So it was fun to walk around the park, go on the rides, and then see like new little surprises here and there. But let me switch over to the 70th stuff because yeah, it's a big moment. The park turning 70 years old. It's a huge milestone, a pretty awesome achievement. And hopefully the park stays around for another 70 years and beyond. But my thing is, if you weren't really paying attention, you wouldn't even know that the park was celebrating an anniversary. There really wasn't much going on, to be completely honest. There really wasn't a lot of things pointing towards Disneyland turning 70 years old. The decorations are pretty minimal. There's a few things here and there. They have bunting on Main Street. They have the big like medallion signage all around the resort. We didn't go over to California Adventure, but they have some decorations over there. It's just very subtle stuff. But really, it's not that much. Your average guest walking down Main Street and stuff, is probably not going to notice too much, you know? And even if they do notice it, are they going to really connect it to an anniversary date? I don't know. I really don't know because it's that minimal. And even when you go to the castle, they have the 70th medallion right front and center and a couple like little bunting things and some pieces on the flagpoles, but that's it. There's nothing else on the castle that would indicate an anniversary. So very odd with the decoration choices. I wanted more. I really wanted more with the decorations, and I wish they would have picked a different color scheme, as the color scheme just doesn't, I don't know, doesn't scream 70th anniversary to me. But that was like the first thing I had noticed walking around the park. I'm like, wow, there's really not too much going on. Aside from an amazing park day, it's a really fun day to be here. But what are we celebrating? They had a park map that was all decked out for the 70th. It really wasn't anything. It wasn't anything crazy like they've done in the past. It wasn't a holographic map, or it wasn't. It didn't have a matte finish or anything like that. It would have been cool. Maybe they'll do that for the 75th. And then when it comes to the entertainment, there really wasn't a lot of entertainment that paid homage to the park. They brought back Paint the Night, which is a returning parade from the 60th anniversary. They brought back Wondrous Journey, which is a returning fireworks show from the 100th anniversary of the company. And then they had Fantasmic that evening. They had their normal Disneyland band. They do have a new cavalcade, but watching the cavalcade, you wouldn't even know what it's about. Or like, you wouldn't know that it's pointing to Disneyland's anniversary. And then the only show that really was a tribute to Disneyland, at least for right now, until the Walt show opens up, was the Tapestry show at It's a Small World. That show was awesome. I really loved the Tapestry show. If you're going to the park here in the next few months to check out the 70th anniversary and just Disneyland in general, set some time aside in the evening to check out the Tapestry show. It was beautiful, and it's a little projection mapping show. It's like 5 minutes or so, and it's so well done. I wish the Tapestry show was the main fireworks show. Like, obviously they can make it a little bit longer for a fireworks application. They can, stretch out some of those bits in the middle of the projection mapping show to accommodate for that. But it was so good. It was the perfect anniversary show. And what you think of when you want to see a show that has to do with the anniversary of a theme park or whatever, oh yeah, that was exactly what I wanted. It was so good. So whoever greenlit that show and was this designer or whatever, huge shout out to you, or the entire team, because I loved it, especially the part where they were showcasing a lot of the retired attractions that used to be at Disneyland. It kind of got me misty-eyed because it was just the way it was done was so beautiful. But besides that, what else entertainment-wise was there for the 70th anniversary? Nothing. They didn't even have a stage show or anything. There was really nothing. And I want to see more of the tributes to the park, right? Like, when it comes to an anniversary, we need to see more nostalgia. And I feel like they could have done so much. The Fantasyland Theater is still sitting there empty, and they could have easily used that to do some sort of really cool show. With all the characters or whatever. Now, I'm not talking about a dance party. I'm talking about a sit-down show. You go over there, you sit down for a few minutes, enjoy the shade, and a nice little stage performance. That'd be awesome. And it also helps with the park's, capacity, because then you have a few thousand people that go and sit down and watch a show. Those people are off the thoroughfare. They're not in lines. They're doing something else. It helps with the operation of the park. Shows do make a huge difference. So I really wanted to see more, and I wish they would have done more for the 70th anniversary, because all the other shows are just returning. It had nothing to do with Disneyland's anniversary. Absolutely nothing. And that's not to say they're bad shows. Paint the Night is one of the greatest parades that they've ever done. I love Paint the Night. I was actually working at Disneyland when Paint the Night premiered. I worked the Gibson Girl and Coke corner. on Main Street. And I remember working GSO for that parade. So, yeah, no, Paint the Night's amazing. And Wondrous Journeys is a really good fireworks show. The finale to that fireworks show is one of my favorites. So, yeah, they're not bad shows. I just want more shows that have to do with the anniversary. Like, again, what are we celebrating here? Are we celebrating the park, or are we just bringing in some entertainment because we didn't want to spend money on R&D of some new stuff? Because, like, I would have loved to see a new parade, brand new parade for the day, and then, yeah, you can have Paint the Night for the evening. But there isn't a daytime parade. It's just a cavalcade, and the cavalcade's over in like 5 minutes. And the cavalcade really has nothing to do with the park. So, how cool would it have been to do a parade where some of the floats are like some of the old attractions at the park, you know? Or maybe some of your favorite attractions at the park. That would be cool. That would be really, really neat and unique. But they didn't really do anything. And then, going back to the decorations really quick, there really wasn't a lot of decorations elsewhere in the park. Other than those little activation points for the magic bands, there's nothing. There was just kind of nothing going on. Now, speaking of the magic bands, I do really applaud Disney for adding more interactive elements in the park. And I hope even after the 70th anniversary, they keep them around and they maybe do some new ones. And not just at Disneyland, but at California Adventure and at Walt Disney World and all the other Disney parks. Interactive experiences are cool. And what's great business-wise is if you have a bunch of them around the park, it encourages people to buy the Magic Band. If you want more people to purchase that, well, then give them something tangible, you know? Have a lot of interactive experiences, because then, you know, when you're standing in line or something, or you're at one of those interactive touch points and someone sees someone who does have a Magic Band interacting with it, they go, oh man, that's kind of cool. Like, maybe we should get one of those. It's an easy way to sell a product. And yeah, the fact that Disney took this long to add more of them in the park is crazy. So I hope that even after the 70th, they have more of those interactive touch points, because I think they're great. Again, I've been just stressing so much about that on my channel. Like, yo, you need to have more of that in the park. I think it's cool. So that's a really good positive. I'm glad they're going in the right direction with that. And some of them, from what I saw, were pretty neat. They also did a really cool interactive experience for a merchandise item, another merchandise item that was like a giant key. Now, I don't buy any of this stuff. I'm a horrible person when it comes to buying merchandise and reviewing it, because I just don't. So you're not going to find any of that kind of stuff on my channel. But they did have a key that was really neat that had interactive elements around the park that you had to go and interact with. And then once you've completed all the, you know, once you unlocked all the lands, a little secret compartment opened up on the product itself, revealing an enamel pin. And all the keys have different enamel pins in them. So really genius idea. It was a really smart idea. Again, whoever came up with that one, shout out to that person, because it's a really good idea. Other than that, other than the merchandise and the food, of course, and the returning entertainment, that was it. That was all that was there for the 70th anniversary. It's just not really too much going on. And I had a lot of people tell me when we were at the park, like, yeah, maybe it's just for the 75th, they're going to really go all out. But I'm just like, why though? Why are we having to wait to 75? They went all out for the 60th. They went all out for the 50th. Well, why not the 70th? And then, yeah, you have another 5 years to develop something for the 75th. You know, people need to remember that this company makes a lot of money. They're not just making pennies here. They're making a lot of money, and they can afford to do something pretty elaborate. It was a great day at the park. I had so much fun. But it really wasn't a celebration of the park. It was just another day. And that's okay for some people. You know, that's fun. I'm glad that Paint the Night is back and we have fireworks and all that kind of stuff. But I just want more. And it seems like with these anniversaries, they're kind of like getting people used to a little less here and there, and it's just becoming a food thing and a merchandise thing. Because again, the lines were non-existent. Nobody was going on the rides. Everyone was shopping or eating. And it felt like we were at the Americana. Like, it just felt like we were at the mall. And That's kind of crazy to think about. That's really crazy. You're at a theme park and no one's going on the rides? That's weird. That's really weird. And I think Disney's wanting to train people that way. So when they do these big anniversary milestones or whatever events, they don't have to worry about building a new ride or developing a new show or anything like that. They can just come out with a bunch of new food and merchandise and they know people will eat it up, literally. So I don't know. I wanted more. I really wanted more. And I'm really curious what other people think. Again, these are all just my opinions. And I know some people in the comments are going to be like, Dylan, you're just so negative. Whatever. I'm not negative. I just have an opinion. I want to see more. I had such a great day that I wanted to see more out of it. I just, I think Disney can do more for their anniversaries. And I'm hoping that they prove me wrong for the 75th. Maybe they'll just go like all out for the 75th anniversary and just, I will be mind blown. I am fingers crossed. But yeah, what do you think? Go ahead and comment down below. We shall see. And you know what? Maybe things in the next few weeks will change. Maybe they'll add some more stuff. You never know. We have all summer and into next year for them to do other things. You never know. But again, I really want to know your guys' opinion. For those that have gone to the 70th, what'd you think? And if you liked today's video, you can let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel and you love these videos covering all things theme parks, well, you've come to the right place and you should consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't want to miss out on. And also, be sure to follow me on Instagram and X. I post there quite often and you won't want to miss that either. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.